forward to a renewal of the Patriot Act in 2006, because that law has done exactly what it was intended to do, and this country cannot afford to be without its protections.
And the Patriot Act was renewed in 2006, and the vote wasn't close. And now, in addition, the NSA combs through our phone records, emails, who knows what else.
You can't have 100% security and also then have 100% privacy and zero inconvenience.
And I suspect most Americans agree with that, and that's appalling, says Judge Andrew Napolitano. And why? Because people do want to kill us.
What makes America great is an atmosphere of limited government, the limitations guaranteed by the Constitution. When those guarantees fall by the wayside and the government, in the name of security, rejects its limitations and believes it can regulate any behavior, invade any right, write any law, as long as the goal is security, then there's no difference between the United States of America and some other empire that collapsed because it was too powerful for its own good.
But too powerful for its own good suggests they're just riding roughshod over everything.
Well,
and look,
John,
I agree with you that they're breaking the rules and they do too much, but this is a case where people not in uniform want to sneak in here and murder us.
This is a Constitution that empowers a government to defend us from people not in uniform who want to sneak in here to murder us without destroying the liberties that come from our humanity, and which the government has taken an oath. Everybody that works for the government, from the president down to a janitor in a public school, has taken the same oath to uphold the Constitution. Not to find ways around it, not to find ways to avoid it, but to follow it.
But you lawyers interpret the Constitution 1,000 different ways.
Yes, they do. I wish you wouldn't put me in that category. But yes, lawyers do, John, interpret it 1,000 different ways.
And I don't feel my freedom impinged upon by this 1,000 other ways, other things government does.
That is why it's so insidious, my dear friend John Stossel, because your freedom may have been impinged upon without you knowing it. Because in the old days, when the government wanted, just by way of example, Stossel's medical records, Stossel's banking records, Stossel's records with his lawyer.
British soldiers might have come into my house and ransacked the house.
Or as recently as 15 years ago, you would have gotten a subpoena in the mail or a letter in the mail from your bank saying, the FBI showed up, we have 10 days to reply, what do you want us to do? You would have had an opportunity to know about it and to challenge it. Today, the recipient of the subpoena, your banker, your lawyer, your doctor, your computer server, is forbidden by law from telling you about it.
They've got my phone records. They know who I call. So does the phone company. So what?
When the government knows everything about you, the government can...
They don't know everything about me.
They know more about you than you think they do.
Okay.
When the government knows all about you, even the things that you want to keep private, the government can use that for its own nefarious purposes, and the government can use it for a witch hunt. And every witch hunt will find a witch. They won't stop until they find a witch. And
where
every
are the witches they're hunting? I don't read about it. I don't see people being arrested.
Oh, yes, you do see people being arrested. They find the weakest among us, and they tempt them. Hey, you want to join a conspiracy against the big, bad federal government? And they entrap them.
President Obama has sure changed his tune on this. He was on your side, libertarian side, when he attacked President Bush for undermining our Constitution. If we elected Barack Obama, he said he'd stop such lawlessness.
That means no more illegal wiretapping of American citizens. No more national security letters to spy on citizens who are not suspected of a crime. Our Constitution works.
As angry as I was at the Bush administration, it never produced a legal memorandum from its Justice Department claiming the president could kill Americans. Not only does this president spy, not only does he spy with abandon, not only does he do it illegally and unconstitutionally, he claims the authority to kill Americans, and he has done so.
And I assume most Americans say, well, you know, he didn't get all the memos when he was running for office. Now he sees the data. He's scared. He's not doing this for no reason.
John, he took an oath to uphold the Constitution. If the Constitution is an impediment to his delivery of the services he thinks he should deliver as president, he should either leave the presidency or move to change the Constitution.
Common defense is in the Constitution.
Well, to defend us does not authorize him to violate other express guarantees in the Constitution. And most of the time, the defendants, the victims of it, don't even know they're being victimized. And so they're not around to challenge
If you don't
it.
know, how are you a victim?
You are a victim when the government invades your privacy, when the government invades your dignity, when the government violates your natural rights and doesn't tell you about it and doesn't give you a chance to challenge them. That's what authoritarian governments have done. And every authoritarian government, except the half dozen that are still around, has collapsed for doing that, including King George III.